Tuesday. It's what we do. We just sit around, smoke a pound, and talk about what we do. In the cannabis world, we gon' let you know how the business go on a brand new show. Token Tuesday. Show you how to do it right.
Yo, welcome to Token Tuesday, where you have real cannabis players talking about real cannabis issues. And so I got Marco to my right.
Yeah.
And Ruvy's out, got a
Ruby.
headache, so, she's taking a chill pill.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got Keith to my left.
How you guys doing?
And we're going to jump right into some hot topics of the day. And once again, we're going to keep it real at all times. So just know when you tune in, ain't nothing politically correct about what we talk about here. It just is what it is.
All right. Hey, so look, today is April 1st, and I'm sad to tell you guys, this ain't no April Fool's joke. America is federally still illegal to handle cannabis. And I know that was supposed to be funny, but guess what? That ain't funny.
Nah.
Now here's the question I have for you guys. How far is America willing to fall behind the rest of the world as alcohol profits continue to plummet?
Well, I mean, that's a good point there. That's a tough one there, because when I think about it, you got to look at how far we kind of been behind on a few things already. When you think about technology, you think about the automobile industry.
Yeah.
I mean, the list go on and on. I mean, them pair of shoes you wear on your feet don't come from here.
Mm-hmm.
Nike ain't based here, even though old boy got his got the one in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which was originally based in Oregon, but the manufacturer of them shoes, they ain't in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've kind of been behind on a few things, unfortunately. We even fallen behind here in LA on cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we really want to talk about us falling behind, we falling behind on that too.
Mm-hmm.
And why are we falling behind on that too? Because all of the stiff regulations that we have, the high taxes, and then the thing that angers me even more is our taxes went up today.
Mm-hmm.
And the dumbass voters, and I got to say that because I didn't vote for that. The dumbass voters sat there and voted for high taxes. We already trying to figure out how we buying groceries, and your dumbass I'm going to say it again, dumbass want to go there and vote on some higher taxes to help homeless, and the money that the city and the county and the state have for homeless. They screwed that money off.
Right. Well, remember, LA is not only dealing with this problem. Chicago is dealing with this problem. Any sanctuary city that took on immigration, your taxes are going to be affected by it, because you had to bring in food, housing, to provide for those immigrants.
Healthcare.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got to see all the billions of dollars we spending on healthcare on a person who's not even legal here. And it takes me all the way back to where I remember when everybody, and all you Democrats know this and should know this more than anything. You guys fought hard with Obama to bring Obamacare in, and then now you fuck off the church's money. Let's just call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You done messed off the church's money, right?
Yep.
Because you done took Obamacare that was supposed to be beneficial for the citizens of the United States of America. And guess what? The Democrats want to now bring in a sanctuary state, because what it does is allow those same people to get the same benefits of our healthcare system. The problem is Obama didn't think about that. The Democrats didn't think about that, and whatever few Republicans voted for Obamacare to pass did not think about that because they didn't budget for this influx through Joe Biden's administration.
Right.
The influx
of
people hitting that border,
So here's the one thing I want to caution you guys.
which ultimately strained the healthcare system. Bottom line,
Yeah.
But I just want to caution you guys. When you look at the terrain that's going on right now, it's not a Democratic problem or a Republican problem.
absolutely not.
When we really look at what's going on,
It's a human problem.
It's a human problem. You hit it right on the head.
But the problem is that we've allowed ourselves to get caught up in the politics, right? Right.
Mhm, the politics.
We want to sit there and say this. Nobody is like, I was listening to the news as I was on my way over here, and the guy was talking about the movies, watching movies at the
Movie theaters?
the movie theater.
Yeah.
And there were people talking about, oh, I'm not going to watch that because the owner of that, his political view is this. Like, really? Is this
It's
what
gotten
we've
to
been
that.
reduced to?
Mm-hmm.
Worrying about what some owner's political view is?
Mm-hmm.
Man, can the actor act? Is the movie good?
Right.
Did I enjoy myself and have a good time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn what his politics are.
So
Yeah.
wait a minute. Look, so you still listen to R. Kelly then?
I love R. Kelly.
I still bang R. Kelly.
Man,
Why
no,
not?
no,
The
wait,
music
I
is
was
good.
pissed off,
I know
man.
whatever. The music is good.
Let me tell you. Oh, let me
No,
tell
no,
you
wait,
something.
I
I
want you-
was pissed off when they took R. Kelly off the radio station, and Negro supported that. Black radio station supported that. You bums. They should have kept him on.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you why I feel that
Well,
way.
go ahead. I want to hear
Because
it.
let me ask you this: did they take what's that?
Elvis
Weinstein?
Presley or Weinstein.
Did
Yeah,
they take all
Weinstein.
his movies out the
Did they
theater?
take any of his movies? out?
Not one.
What about Elvis Presley and Marion Priscilla Presley at 14? Did we stop listening to
Nobody
his
like
music?
bringing that up.
Well,
Yeah.
wait a minute. I can name a couple
So-
of them.
A lot more.
I understand, but you see what I'm saying. But we gonna take R. Kelly's
Yeah.
music off the radio. That man produced some of the best music, and they want to say you can't separate the man from the music. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Hold on. Yes, you can. Once we found out that Luther Vandross was not that Romeo lover getting all the women person, did we not separate the man from the music
You
and
sure did.
still love Luther Vandross to
Yep,
this day,
yep.
even though we know that he rump riding,
Yep.
you know, or either the rump was getting
Yep.
ridden.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
said, ain't no political correct here, y'all. So if you don't want to hear this, don't listen to this one.
But Virgil, you bring up a really good point. That's the main reason why I want you guys. Let's separate this from
Yeah,
Democrat
yeah.
and Republican. And when you look at this, January 25th, we
Mhm.
were supposed to, the DEA was supposed to have a trial, and we were supposed to make a decision about cannabis.
Mhm.
At the last minute, we talking about the 25th hour, the alcohol industry asked for a trial to really say how are they going to get their profits replaced.
Mhm.
Okay. So think about this for a second. Alcohol is on decline. Major alcohol companies have been reporting stagnant or declining sales, especially among Generation Z and millennials who are choosing mindful intoxication
Oh yeah,
over hangovers.
That's what
I had them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says younger generations are leaning into cannabis, adaptogens for stress and relief and social experience. So if you think about it, the future is cannabis. And we have the billionaires holding on to, their alcohol profits and
Mhm.
doing everything they can.
You
But
know, I have
go ahead.
feedback. This is my little perspective on what you
We
were
need
saying
it.
in regards to like why are we falling behind on cannabis. I might have a different view on that. Yeah, we might be, but I look at it like from the city I grew up in, right? Like in
Mhm.
Burbank. In Burbank, we weren't allowed to have nightclubs. In Burbank, you can't have weed shops. Burbank's the type of city growing up there. We didn't want outsiders coming in. Even Walmart took like fucking 15 years fighting Burbank just to get into Walmart because they hated the fact that
Get into
Walmart brought
Burbank.
in lower income people
Mm.
from outside cities to come in. That's just the type of city Burbank is, right? Nightclubs never had them. We have banquets and stuff like that, banquet halls, but no nightclubs. But I always tell people, I was like, that's because Burbank is damn near owned by Disney. And it's owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So I look at the United States of America like a corporation.
Yeah.
As much as cannabis
It
is a
is a
large
corporation.
portion of income that we can receive, we have other entities that are so large that doesn't press us. Like if you look at the top brands in the world, McDonald's, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Disney, like the list goes on and on, Microsoft, Google. We have such large corporations. That's why I'm thinking like how Burbank would think, where it's like, I don't need that money. Yet.
Right.
Does that make any sense? Like, I don't need that money yet. Like with Disney running shit and the money that Disney bringing in, we don't need weed business.
It's just not consistent enough.
Yeah.
We like consistent flow.
Right. And federally, it would make it extremely consistent. But I think it's more of an attitude of...
It'll make it the number one.
It'll make it, yeah.
I guarantee you, if you release it federally, it'll make it number one.
Well,
that's the only thing that's holding California back from being the number one
is the law
producer, and that being the number one cash crop in the United States of America. Because you got to keep in mind when hemp was the number one cash crop in the United States of America.
That's the last time I remember America being great. If you're gonna work back at her.
was when we was growing hemp. And you know, they don't really talk about that. They talk about the cane fields.
Yeah.
They talk about the cotton fields, the corn fields, the tobacco farms. They talk about all that.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about the hemp fields that was being grown and how much hemp was being produced for paper, for ropes, for clothing, for flags, for anything you name.
Textiles.
Yeah.
All of that business, that was all produced out of hemp. You know what I'm saying? So we understand what the recipe is. It's just some of us that are not really caring because, like you said, we don't need that right now.
Right now.
Now
it's a right now thing.
I'm gonna give you a prime example of that in our industry right now. Think about all the big companies that are in our industry now, and I won't name names.
Right.
But we know those that have 20 stores, that have 15 stores, that have 10 stores, right, in our industry. Why are they not down at City Hall screaming bloody murder over taxes? Why are they not down at City Hall screaming bloody murder over the tax on tax on tax or the raising of the fees? You know why?
Because they want the purging of the cannabis industry.
On, man.
They want to purge
they
as many out as possible.
It doesn't matter to them, right?
That's
whether those fees are high, because they have other businesses that they came from. They didn't come from cannabis. They came from other businesses. And so what they're doing is throwing money to that cannabis shop, even though it's failing, to make you think it's surviving so that they can bleed you out, because we don't have those dollars.
Yeah.
We don't have Wall Street dollars.
Back to what you just said. If you think about the number one producer, he came from real estate. So if I'm able to control the cost of the lease, guess what? I am profitable. I mean, we talked about that a while back, about at the extra additional cost that cannabis is cost for leases.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. There are a lot of different costs, right? Because if I add up my taxes for a year, let's just say if I did not have to pay taxes for a year, you know, I could save about $300,000 to $400,000
easily.
$300,000 to $400,000
easily
if I did not have to pay taxes.
Because each month is about almost 30,000.
Look, if you take off the taxes and the absorbent amount you paying just for the space,
yes,
them two costs right there, the people that were from real estate, they not paying that. So you got to understand that when you look at the bigger operators that controlled the land when they went into this, they not in a bad position.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Look.
I won't say they're not in a bad position, because when the lease, what do they tell you? Rule of thumb: your lease is what percentage of your profit revenue, and they say what it's about maybe 1%.
I was about to say like 1-2%,
like 1 or 2%. That's nothing.
But how you looked at the math for cannabis, it doesn't add up to that 1%.
But
but okay. So look at it like this, right? One of the locations I have, and we'll use me as an example. One of the locations I have, I got a $5,500 lease.
I mean,
That's Crenshaw.
Yeah, that's like 2,000 square feet.
Yeah, Crenshaw's
that's
like 2,000,
nothing.
and that's after
2,000
taking the
square
second,
feet
the
costing
second low,
him
the second.
$5,500.
About, just say
so it's about $2
$5,500.
and
Yeah.
50 cents.
That's nothing for the industry, but that's nothing for like
For a lot
people would love to have a
Yeah.
$5,500
because then if you compare it to Melrose, that's
Exactly.
like almost
But
20
now-
grand.
now-
You know what I'm saying?
now
You
imagine
see what
this
I'm
for a
saying?
second. If I owned the building, now guess what? Anytime I got taxes or anything, I can
But
pull
let me
right
tell
from
you.
my asset to, and that's the difference between owning and leasing from. If you,
But
lease
not all of them
something,
do
you don't
own
have
it. You know
access
what
to
it is? It's just everybody from being around a lot of different of these owners and mentalities. You got to understand there's different people who practice business differently.
Yes.
You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just
It's a
it
10%
has
move right about
sometimes
now.
nothing. I think we overlook because I mean for me, I'm all over the place. I'm picking brains. I'm listening. I'm watching. One thing that keeps me calm is I even told brother a long time ago in 2019 and 2017 when we were building out Crenshaw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because in 16, 17, we were
Yeah.
building out Crenshaw,
Yeah.
right? With
Yeah.
Danny and everybody,
Yeah.
right? Articles are already coming out, and I like to read a lot, right? And the reason I'm calm about where the industry is today is because they told us, even though that article is very
Yes.
hard for me to find today, in
Yeah.
2017,
They
they
said
already told us
what was
that
gonna
the
happen.
investors that are coming in were coming in with 5 years worth
Worth
of
of money.
money to lose.
Exactly.
To lose. That was announced to
Right.
us. And if you were
Yes.
really paying attention, you would already been aware that this is what we were gonna face.
Exactly.
We already knew this.
So you can. I don't care whether you own your building or whether you don't own your building. When you fighting somebody that got 5 years worth of revenue to lose, that's mean 5 years worth of taxes, 5 years worth of employment. You're paying your employees 5 years worth of lease
Operating costs.
or
Yeah.
whatever. 5 years worth of buying product and selling product. 5 years worth of your security team that you got to hire, your accountant team. And the list goes on.
Yeah.
You understand me? So when somebody's coming in with that type of money for 5 years to lose, that's a monster is going to be very difficult to take down.
Yes.
Now
yes.
you talking David and Goliath.
Yes.
You
yes.
understand me? And that's
then,
that Goliath.
And then let me
is-
tell you something too, Keith.
Well, I
Verge
had
was
a
locked
question
up
about
during
things
some
that-
very crazy, crucial years.
Yes.
Okay? You have to know that. There were some years that, okay, this is what I explain to people. We've been doing this forever, yo.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the people that were coming in with the new money, and I know the people who became the real cannabis millionaires that left.
Exactly.
The people coming in are not cannabis
Cannabis
millionaires,
No.
and they're not
ones that
becoming
left.
cannabis millionaires.
No.
They are real estate, tech,
Yeah.
oil, gas.
Yeah.
Wine,
industries.
beer, whatever it is. It's
Mhm.
everything other than
tobacco.
cannabis.
Yep.
The cannabis millionaires were made
And
between
left.
2010 to
Mhm.
2015. There was a gigantic amount of money going on.
Mhm.
That's when all of us, and we could have 20 stores making $500,000 to $1 million a month.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yep. And guess where I
No
was?
problem.
Guess where I was during that?
You- He was locked up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So like he
So-
missed out.
so
on,
that
so-
window
so he
you
missed out.
on.
He
So-
missed
so-
out on this big gap that
So had I had my 6 stores,
he would. He
which
probably
was
would have
really
not even want to
tempting.
be
You
here
would've
no
been
more.
the
Like a lot of the millionaires that aren't here.
yeah, if I
They
had
went to
6
go do
10
what the other people did. This is
Yep.
what's beautiful about life. When you just look at life and you just look at it from outside and just go, wow, the wonderful things that people from opposite sides do.
Yep.
The guys that are already multimillionaires, billionaires from another industry came in to utilize their money to play in another game.
Exactly.
Something different.
Right.
The money ain't secure there, so our money could be useful, whether it's gonna hurt others or not. But if you were really pioneers of this shit,
And they
then
can-
you would be able to already have cashed out by 2015,
And
and now you are a developer.
now the cold
Now
part
you are
about
doing
it,
the things that the people are coming in that are doing. It's a flip.
Yep. The
No, I
cold
like
part
that. I
about
like
it.
that.
Wait, the cold part about it is they could write their money off.
Off.
They could write all that loss
But
off.
that's why our millionaires took their money to property development, because where can
Right.
you take cold hard cash to property? So any of the real millionaires in cannabis, that's why look at 15, 16, you saw developments going on. Where you think a lot of that money was coming from?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Cannabis bread that needed to get cleaned up.
Heck yeah. Heck
Okay.
yeah.
Just being honest.
So look, here's the next
You know what I'm
thing.
saying?
No, I like that. Look, here's
Like,
the
that's
next
the
thing
truth.
I want us to talk about. So we talked about, are we being left behind? So here's some of the places and countries that look at cannabis as just a commodity.
Yep.
So they're not even trying to schedule it anything.
Yep.
They just gonna basically sell it like a loaf of bread.
Yep.
Mhm.
So you got Germany, Thailand, Uruguay, Canada are taking bold steps to regulate and tax cannabis as a mainstream commodity.
Mhm.
Yep.
My question is,
Israel is not in that?
no. So Israel and UK are the leading cannabis-based pharmaceutical research.
They're for
Okay.
science.
Yeah.
Science. Yeah,
So
they're
they,
with
there's a lot
so
of
science.
they took
science,
the
yeah.
angle that they're gonna get the data. Because think about it, they were the first to have a patent.
And they're going to get the research money.
They got
they already
got
said
all
it.
the institutions to give them
All
the
of
green
them.
light.
Yeah, and that's big money. People
Wait a minute, look, I
people
want
don't
all three of
understand.
these for-
It's more money in
In research,
then-
there's ever gonna be in.
Because somebody,
Come on
we
now.
need $20 million to see if we find some shit. And if
Yeah.
we
So wait a minute, look, I want to give you all the other
And
one.
$20 million to see if that joint get
Get
us
you
high.
high.
No.
It
On how
didn't
high
work.
and
Can't
how
go
long?
about 20 though.
So then you also have South Africa and Colombia are investing in global cannabis export infrastructure.
Mhm.
So of these three things, you can see that the world is moving forward. Like
Oh yeah.
I started out by saying when the war on drugs happened here in America, it happened throughout the whole global space.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now that it's being lifted, you can see some people like, hey, this is our angle at it. My question is, when you look at the rest of the world and their stance on cannabis and how does this kind of playing out, what do you think about that?
I think one thing we have to pay attention. We really have to pay attention. Our leaders right now of the free world, as people like to call America, got to pay attention because one thing that I would say is that one, they need to legalize this thing on a federal level.
Yes, sir.
You will then position America once again as being the forefront leader in the cannabis industry. There are not too many places. Matter of fact, I didn't hear not one place on there that you name that grows better
I was
cannabis
about
than
to say,
California.
the only
Nah,
thing
come on,
Colombia could really do is when they legalize the other stuff.
Exactly.
Other than
The
that,
coca
cannabis is gonna
bean,
be
yeah,
like barely anything.
exactly.
Like I'm Colombian and Panamanian. I'll tell you right now, we
Yeah.
ain't got no damn weed out there like that.
Come
We got
on,
other
man.
shit, though.
I mean, I didn't been.
I thought
I
they had
done-
a new strand called Creepy.
nah.
Creepy
Yeah,
is
that's
just
what the-
basically it's their way of, that's Puerto Rican. That's
Okay.
them. That's their way of saying like a blunt.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
That's why
It's-
they're
it's
talking
a
about smoking. They
slang
blunt,
term.
yeah.
For
that's Puerto
something,
Rican though.
but not a strain.
Right.
Not they ain't growing
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Look, man, at the end of the day, it come from right here. And any and everybody that knows good weed knows it's come from right here. When I went to Jamaica and I flew on the airplane with 2 ounces in my pocket like the shit was legal. Went through customs with 2 ounces in my pocket of some good green from California. And when I got to Jamaica and started, passing out people with spliffs, I had to let them know. We the best in the
You gotta
West.
let them know, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Because they was like,
oh,
oh, no, Jamaican weed. I said, okay, go smoke
I
that,
almost
right?
got in a fight in
So,
Bahamas
hey,
over
look,
some shit
I was
like
on
that
the
too.
I was on the beach getting a massage, right? I'm on the beach getting a massage. Hey, with what do they call that? Olive oil massage, right?
Yeah.
On the beach. So I didn't hit them with this weed, and then they done ran off and went and smoked it. I swear, man, about the time that lady was finished with my massage, they was coming back, man, giggling, laughing, high as hell.
Tight than a
Yeah,
mother.
And they said, yeah. Yeah, I
man,
said, all
this is
right.
it, you know.
I said, now, because I told them when they come back, you got to tell me that California got the best weed in the world, and they had to come back and bow that down.
Yeah.
It's just bar
Yeah.
none.
And that's why I keep saying, keep the places you keep naming. That's why I don't feel like we're behind. I just feel like that's what they have to do. Like we're speaking about other places that do not have all the things I mentioned. They don't have a Google.
No.
They don't have a Microsoft. They do not have the 90% of the world's largest corporations. So they need to do anything
They don't have tech.
to bring more money
They
to their
don't have
country.
defense.
Oh, I
They
agree.
You know what I
don't
mean?
have
They
nothing.
can't
So
squat.
that's why to
No,
me, I
I
don't
agree.
see us
All of
falling
those
behind.
places
I just
rely
see it
on-
as That's what they got to do, because the minute
Mhm.
we open the floodgates, they're all done for.
Exactly.
No matter if they're 20 years ahead, the moment we open our floodgates, it's like a dam that just got broke. It's done. Louisiana, whatever you want to call it, it's a wrap.
Well, they already
Hey, wait.
they'll be 20 years behind, because when you really look at it,
You know what I'm
right?
saying?
If you try to match the United States of America with Israel's with their science
Uh-huh.
when it comes to cannabis,
Yeah.
bar none, they got us hands down. They wiping us off the floor, right?
What,
But when it comes, hold
I'm
on.
gonna let you finish.
But
I'm
when
gonna
it
let you
comes to cannabis cultivation, cannabis production, there is nobody in the world that could touch us. So they can get 20 years ahead. You know why?
Yeah.
Because we already 60 years ahead of everybody else.
Right.
You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
So all they doing is playing catch up. But let that one thing happen to us here in the United States of America,
Yeah.
and we shutting shit
Yeah.
down.
And honestly, at the end of the day, like he's saying, right? If you tell me you're Russian and you pull up on me and you go, hey, bro, try my mezcal, I'd be like, I don't want it.
Mhm.
Now, if a Mexican homie rolled up on me and told me try his mezcal, I'm gonna want it.
Come on.
You better give me some vodka,
finish.
dog.
Yeah,
You feel me? Because I know where you from. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's the same thing with weed.
No
I don't
doubt.
give a damn if you're from Thailand, G. I
Uh-huh.
don't give a damn if you're from Colombia, homie.
Yeah,
I don't give two shits if you're from Canada, even though I know you the closest.
yeah.
You the closest. You got some reputation.
They got that
But
BC
You
weed,
can't
man,
name
that
another
never
place
could touch
that's gonna
us.
make me go, oh shit, I need their weed.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. When the
You know what I'm
BC
saying?
weed was coming in, and hey, let me tell you something. I lost $100,000 at the Canadian border. So I'm telling you what I know, not what I'm talking, not what I heard.
What you
I'm
been
telling
doing?
you what I
Detroit
know.
side of the Canada
You
side.
understand
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
It was on the Canada side. So I done lost 100,000 right there at the border. But real talk, we was getting that BC weed, but that BC weed wasn't touching.
Yeah. It was some
It
good
wasn't
stuff,
touching.
but it wasn't touching.
No, it wasn't.
But it was
not-
good.
It wasn't
It was
even coming close.
Yeah.
Because we called it pretendo.
Right.
We could just pass it off, but people was digging it
Passers.
because the price
Yeah.
was cheaper.
And it's
So,
always gonna be like
it was
that.
a
It's always
hustler.
gonna be like that.
It was a hustler thing. It wasn't a smoker's thing.
Yeah.
You didn't hear somebody that was smoking weed talking about, oh man, give me some of that BC.
Mhm.
You heard the hustler who was trying to make money
Same
wanted
with the
the
Mexican
BC.
brickweed.
You understand me? Wanted that BC.
Yeah.
What the smoker wanted, he said, man, I want some of that Kush.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bubba Kush, OG Kush,
OG
it needed to be
Kush,
some type
Master
of
Kush, Purple Kush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
all
so
of the.
look, so I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna give you guys this commercial break. Meanwhile, in the land of the free, cannabis
You
is
got all
still
the topics,
federally
man.
illegal.
You get
It
us going
is.
for sure.
Entrepreneurs can't access banking.
Nah, can't access banking.
look,
at
Oh yeah,
all.
we can't access
Look,
banking.
IRS code 280E strangles profitability.
Yes, it does.
Multi-state operators are stuck in a regulatory maze.
Yeah.
I know.
And don't forget, people sitting in prison for what now
Is
$1 billion
legal.
industry.
Yep.
So let's not forget this. This is in the land of the free. So as we explain all these things, some things change, some things remain the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the present time, I always feel in order for change to happen, we have to make change, right?
Oh yeah, you got to pressure
It has to make. We have to make change. When you think about, I always think about when Obama ran for office. It was about change because was what he ran on. His mantra was change.
Mhm.
I still have his shirt,
Mhm.
the Obama shirt, and that little Obama rag at his first rally that
It was
he had
change,
here
and
in
yes, we can, wasn't
California,
it?
and it was change.
Yeah.
It says it, change. Even
Oh yeah.
that's what he ran on. Like Trump runs on Make America Great Again. Obama was coming with Make Change. Why? Because we was coming out of that George Bush era. And we definitely needed change coming out of that Bush era. Because Bush was full on attack on cannabis. Those were when the raids went down. Those were when the feds came in. Those are when we had all of the issues, the war on drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We had all of that. The 3 strikes. I mean,
No.
everything was going on.
I had to think about what you just said. Remember the 3 strikes you're out, 92.
I understand that, but it was still. I'm not saying who
Oh, you saying
created
it
it.
kicked
was still
in?
in effect.
I'm
Okay,
telling
gotcha,
you where it
100%.
was still in
Yeah,
effect.
yeah.
Because if Bush was about it, he'd have killed it.
Yeah. But
You
no,
understand
he
me?
enforced it. he doubled down.
Oh,
on it.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
He doubled down. He brought the feds in.
Yeah.
That's when he started going after the gang members. Remember?
And the injunctions.
Exactly. The injunctions came in under his ruling.
Yeah.
With
You gotta
the
keep it-
warlords. Remember, that's what really got him all that time.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind what really took place during that era and then the 9/11. I mean, you got to think about the 9/11.
Yep.
People are still duped about what happened in 9/11, and there was a lot of lives lost unnecessarily in 9/11.
Yep.
And
Close
I
to
don't care what
4,000
nobody
people.
say. They can say, "Oh, you a conspiracy theorist and all that." No, you just a dumbass and you ain't did your research. Because if you do your research, you know damn well those buildings couldn't have fell like they fell.
No way.
You know what I'm saying?
I just came from the site, so
Yeah.
go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, recently. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I was there
And I've been
Saturday.
to that site.
Fun.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
if
rest in peace to
anybody
those people, though.
understands how that actually happened,
Mm-hmm.
there was a important thing that we still fail to realize what came out of that. What came out of that? A lot of people don't even know to this day what came out of it. The Patriot Act.
They had. And you
Come
know
on, what does a Patriot Act do for you? It allows
took
me to
every
come
right
in your
that you
house,
had
kick
away
your
that
door
night.
in, tap your telephone,
Yep.
and I don't need a damn good reason to do it.
All that happened that night. As soon as we signed
Come
it,
on,
out
man.
of fear,
Come on.
literally half the people that signed it said they didn't even know what was on there.
Come on, man.
But it literally stripped all your rights away.
All your rights.
Yep.
And they could just tap your phone, they could follow you, they could do anything they want to under that Patriot Act.
Yep.
They don't understand what came out of that. And then the first move, which everybody thought was the second move, was that we went and capitalized on everybody's oil. Because if you think about before that war went down, what was the first thing happened? Dick Cheney sent Blackwater troops over there.
Halliburton, yeah.
Halliburton sent Blackwater troops over there to protect what? Not people.
The oil fields.
The oil
You
fields.
better not look at 'em.
So that they wouldn't go, because what was the Afghanis and the Iraqis good for doing? Knowing that the U.S. wanted them oil fields to take them over, and they said, we'll burn them
Before we let you
come over here and take control of them. And they knew that because they had did it before. So he sent a whole bunch of Blackwater troops, which was a mercenary group of people
Yeah.
that were hired privately to protect these oil fields. Come on. You can't be that blind. People got to wake up and smell and see what's happening.
But wait,
Guess-
you talking about 2011, right? Let's talk about something more recent. Okay. So on Friday, did you guys notice that the stock market took a huge dip?
Yeah.
All right. But on this same Friday, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. got up and said, ladies and gentlemen, there's 10,000 natural substances in your food that we think might be causing you chronic diseases.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna compare it to the rest of the world that only has 400. So on my command, I want 9,600 items to be re-established. So
Mhm.
you remember how Boeing had the FAA? They allowed the companies to inspect their own plane.
Yes.
That's how you got 10,000 natural additives into your food, because they allowed the food companies
To inspect their own.
to.
Yeah.
It said
It's
Regulate
like
their
what we
own
do
shit.
with our labs.
Yeah.
Because there is no centralized lab.
Yeah.
Right. So
We're
now,
using our own labs that
so-
can say whatever the hell we want them to
but,
say.
but what this really comes down to, and I want to make sure I capture this correctly. The same pharmaceutical companies that create our medicine created natural additives that are put in food
Mm-hmm.
that's making people sick. Then you go to the doctor and you get the rest of the pill to kill you on off.
Mm-hmm.
And we ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
We talk more about the stock market crashing than.
We talk about anything.
And guess what? Look, ain't no suspects. Millions of people done died. We just said that it's chronic diseases, diabetes, heart failure, and we not gonna at least bring somebody. Where's Congress now?
Nobody's coming to the table for that.
Yeah.
And the problem is because America's allowed that to happen over and over and over again by influence, by financial influences, by lobbyists who are paid very well to pay other people very well to keep this going, this machine rolling.
But my question is this. Now, this is gonna sound funny, but this is the truth. FDA, you know what that stands for? Food and Drug Administration. How the fuck you sitting up and telling me I can't get cannabis because it's a Schedule 1 substance? It's the most deadliest thing in the world, but you putting shit in my food that's killing me every day.
But that's why they got it together. Right. They got food and drugs tied together. In one administration. Yeah. So like they can control can control both narratives, right? Yeah. You look on the TV. How many times have you sat down and watched TV when you got home from work? And every time you come out, it's a commercial talking about some Sky Rizzy or talking about some Xavier. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So all kind of like they throwing that at you left and right, and they keep talking about, well, if you got this and if you got that.
Side effects, Mike.
Yeah, the side effects of this or that. But some of those people, when I look at it, or say they taking something for diabetes, and I'm looking and say, back your fat ass up from the table. You know what I'm saying? I just got to keep it real. Back your fat ass up from the table and maybe you ain't going to have diabetes. You understand me? It's just simple as that. Then you got this other commercial that come out with these guys talking about they taking pills for this and that. Well, stop doing what you doing. You understand me? And then you ain't going to have a problem. The problem is you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, they're throwing everything out there. And we know that medicine does not cure. You guys need to look that up. Medicine does not cure. It only masks what you're dealing with and keep you dependent on that medication until you decide to do something different from yourself. Like, I know somebody who got diagnosed with high blood pressure and was going through and had to take high blood pressure medicine. And then they decided, you know what? I'm going to do something different with my life. They don't even take high blood medicine no more. Why? Because all they did was change their lifestyle back to where they were when they were healthy versus where they were when they're not. When they're unhealthy.
Absolutely.
We can really.
And this is one of those subjects that's just so hard because it's like a choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like you gotta, I might sound like an asshole, but it's like, dude, as long as me and my family good, as long as I can teach my family. You know what I mean? Because, goddamn, I don't got a lifesaver for everybody. And I could say what we saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to y'all
to fix
to do it for yourself.
Exactly.
I can't do it for you.
That's like somebody that knows smoking cigarettes is going to cause them cancer, but they still puffing, and they know it is. They holding the pack in their hand, reading the back of the Surgeon General. Yeah, saying what's all up in there, and they steadily blowing at the same time while reading.
And then here's the interesting thing about life: just our organism itself, our flesh, our blood, everything that we're made of. There's a human that lives to 100 smoking cigarettes all day, and there's another one that pride himself on never smoking cigarettes and dies at 60 from the disease that the guy that at 100 should have had. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just the human organism itself. It's like you can't even. You got to just live and let others live. And if they want to consume additives and all this other shit, then so be it. Because you don't know if they're going to live longer than you or I. So you know what I'm saying? So just being honest. So it's like, I don't know. So I get hit by a car when I get out of here and die.
I got a feedback.
That dude's still drinking lemon Sunny D.
Look, I got a remark for that one because we didn't know what was in there. See, it's a choice if you tell me like, hey, this is tar, this, that, and other.
But here's the thing.
They put it under the cloak of natural additives.
I'm a business guy. There's only so much as business that we're here to really just be like, you have to know it all. You better go learn as a consumer. If you want to be a smart consumer, I'm a consumer. I don't need somebody to tell me everything about their product. Yeah. I go do my research. And as a businessman, this is what it is. Now it's on you, consumer, to go figure it out. Ain't all of us in here to be no humanitarian human all day long. We're here to make money, dude. And it's on you, and that's your problem. And I hate to be cold-blooded like that, but that's just how I feel.
But wait a minute. I respectfully have to disagree. Yeah, and the only reason why I got to disagree is this. you have a department that's called Food and
Oh, we
Drug
talking about
Administration.
FDA still.
Wait, so-
We talking about FDA, right?
yeah.
Got you. But
So,
here's
so that's what I'm saying. If it's their job to make sure, man, you said cannabis is a Schedule 1. It's the worst thing in the world.
Right.
That's why we got it regulated, right? Shouldn't you regulate the stuff that's actually going to kill me?
right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is what
But I like that thing.
what kills
I have
us
to stand.
what
on it.
kills us
I
is
have
what
to
makes
stand
money.
on it, brother.
You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, what kills us is what makes money.
Right.
And so as long, like
Decisions.
Marco said, as long as it makes money, then they're going to keep pushing that. You know what I'm saying?
Johnson and Johnson, the Johnson family ain't
Come
taking
on.
all their stuff, but you is.
Yeah.
But the Johnson and Johnson family, like, don't put that hair, don't put that deodorant on.
Uh-huh.
You, I wouldn't use them cute.
Exactly.
You got the natural shit.
Because it causes cancer.
Right. But
So-
we're gonna give it to y'all.
So wait a minute. So let's talk about this. Why are
It's
we
sad, but
still
true.
subsidizing alcohol ads during the Super Bowl for raising cannabis in legal states, right? Like we can't even get to the point where we can have a commercial that says puff and blow it back out.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, you know, and that's funny that you say that because I'll see an alcohol commercial or even flash up in the stadiums.
Yeah.
Like when you're at the football
Mhm.
stadiums and they're advertising Budweiser or Michelob or Miller or whatever,
Yeah.
Corona.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay, right? And then they'll tell you to drink responsibly.
Right. They
That-
put it back on
They'll
you.
tell you,
like, hey.
and drink responsibly.
Yeah.
You know, we got the stand over there on B165, and you can get all the Corona. And I'm just watching those people come to there, and they get drunk as hell,
Scummy.
get drunk as hell, and start acting belligerent
It's
while
true.
we at the football game.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just think about if everybody could sit there and smoke on something, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of water and food. So that
Yeah, the food stands would be out. You know what I'm saying? The Coca-Cola stands wouldn't have nothing.
You
The
better not
water
run out of
stands wouldn't
food.
have nothing. Hey, let me tell you, and everybody will be peaceful.
Yep.
Win, lose, or draw, whether
gonna
they
hug
came
it
to
out.
see they win,
Yeah.
they team win. Hey man, you know, good game, good
Right.
game.
Look, next time.
You know what I'm saying?
Who's playing again? You're like,
Right.
So-
we don't forgot.
So the thing, you know, getting back to cannabis and what a couple of things I want to mention, and you know, because I had to clown what's his name, Marshawn. I had to clown Marshawn. So we had the Hall of Flowers, and Marshawn Lynch is up there.
Yeah.
You know, y'all think he a cool dude, but he had a little asshole attitude to me. So
Yeah.
you know, that's just
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you straight up. He had an asshole attitude, because you know people you're in the limelight still. You know, I just didn't see the friendliness in him, and so you know me, I always like to go poke the bear.
Mhm.
So I walked up to him. I said, Marshawn, what's happening, man? I love what you're doing, brother. I said, but I'm still a Niner fan, diehard Niner fan. That's just
Well,
how I had to clown him.
Hey,
You know what
did-
I'm saying?
You did that to Beast Mode?
Man, did I?
Hey, look.
Did I?
She
You know what
used
I'm saying? Hey, man, you in my world as far as I'm concerned.
You
I
right.
ain't in your world. You
You
in
ain't
my
come
world.
on- you ain't going
Cannabis
on the
is my
field.
world. Football, your world. You understand me? So you in my world where everybody in there know me.
Yeah, I'm
You
with
know what I'm saying? So that's just how I felt about that. What I did want to kind of mention, because the other day I was sitting, and this goes on what I think either Keith or Marco said, and I was watching Mike Vick's story, right? And we have we were talking about like taking R. Kelly stuff off the
radio.
Mhm.
radio and stuff like that, people that do something. But I was watching Mike Vick, right? And Mike Vick and them were fighting, you know, fighting dogs. That's what he's supposed to, you know, have went to jail for fighting dogs. And I think the thing that kind of disturbed me the most is that, You disrupted a human being's life over a goddamn dog.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when you interrupt a human being's life, his family, his children, his kids,
His legacy, a lot of shit.
his legacy, and everything that he stood for over a goddamn dog. I remember when a dog used to get hit in the street, put him down. Bow. You understand me? If a dog got hit in the street and he was you put him down.
Hey, can
You
I
know
give you one more better? I remember in the Westerns when it was a sign that said, no Mexicans, niggers, or dogs. And guess what? They still allow dogs in places right now today, but the sign still hasn't been updated.
Damn.
Now
Where's that?
think about that.
You see what I'm saying? So the thing that killed me about that, and I want to say, just kind of mention about that, because it's stuff like that disturbs me, how, they wanted to make this a big deal. And you had all of these families that came out, mainly white people, that came out with their little kids holding signs, and their little kids, the kids, when I looked at the little kids, they little ass didn't even know what the hell was going on. They was just holding a sign they mama and daddy told them to hold, but they didn't have no clue what the hell was going on. And all of these families mad and upset. I've never seen so many people come out over some damn dogs, but when it comes to a human being, those same people won't come out just as strong. If you look at Peter has a lot of power in this government based on some damn dogs and cats
Animals in general, yeah.
and I don't get that. But you got homeless people, you got mentally ill people, you got people that are strung out on drugs, you got people that are strung out on alcohol, you got people that are strung out on pharmaceutical drugs, and you talking about a goddamn dog?
But I'm gonna tell you, with that Mike Vick case, I don't really blame Mike Vick. If you really get down to it, the cousin could have just said, hey man, you know what, them was my dogs, took the time and did it. He made a point of dragging Mike Vick into it.
I get that, and he was a piece of shit for doing that. But at the end of the day, it was a goddamn dog, man. That's my point. I do not value a dog's life the same as a damn human's life. Never have I, never will I. If I see a dog drowning and a human drowning, I'm not going to go run and save the damn dog. I'm going to go run and save the human. If the fire department sees a dog and a human, they're not going to go run and save the damn dog.
Wait a minute, hold on. Is it a black human?
I was gonna say
Y'all
that
ain't gonna
somebody-
keep on
somebody
saying
that
they
we
gonna
might not
save
like,
everybody.
might run to the
Stop
human,
all
be like,
that.
"Man, that's Jerry."
But I
Oh,
mean,
well, hell no.
just
I'm
really
going this
think
way.
about it. They're gonna go save the human first, and they gonna, hey, if the dog gets saved, the dog gets saved. But if the dog don't, the dog don't. It's just like, how have we gotten to the point where we value an animal equal to a human's life? Something's wrong with that picture. Severely wrong with that picture. When I think about the biblical days, and they were slaughtering cattle to sacrifice to God or to gods. Come on, man. When did shit get lopsided?
I think it got lopsided when when pets started inheriting money and having more bread than the average human.
No. Wait a minute. So wait a minute.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah. And not only that, I'm talking about even the pets that literally get money left
Right,
behind.
there's actors
That
and
now
stuff.
creates like a law and a this, and it's a billionaire cat. Like, we might not know it, but it's a billionaire cat being taken care of by
But-
this individual.
but-
But the money is tied to this cat.
But what's funny about what Virgil is pointing out is, well, when did this
Yeah.
transition
You want to
happen?
know that cat? I even want to know that cat. Yo, I might change my
Because
view, dog. They can give you like 200 million.
Look, Marco, think about it. If you go back, what did the Moors point out to the Europeans about living in a house with an animal? That was a transfer of parasites. That was
Yeah.
a transfer of
It was
diseases,
nasty.
right?
Yeah.
So our relationship And again, I could be all base with this, but I
I
never
doubt it.
saw black people relationship with their animals or pets the same as the Europeans.
No, because when God created the heaven and the earth, he created man and every living, creeping thing on the face of this earth, and he gave man dominion over every living, creeping beast on the earth, fowl in the air. He didn't say they were equal to us. He said he gave dominion over that. So when did they ever become equal? And whose eyes and whose laws made these beings equal to us? That's what I'm trying to figure out, right? Because if you try to tell me a dog is equal to me, I might kick you in the ass. You understand me? For some simple shit like that. Like, come on, really? I mean, so I think there's a lot. When you talk about America being last, it's because we have now shifted our views. We have shifted our views so deep. This last election has ruined this country's mind to where we have shifted everything we look at and do is political.
Yeah.
Whatever Marco's views is stand on, so I'm not going to buy no weed from him because Marco voted for Trump.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy.
Said earlier that I'm a businessman. I'm not gonna tell you if there's some fucked up shit.
Marco got the bomb. Marco got the bombest weed in America, and I'm not gonna buy from him because he voted for Trump. They burning up and damaging Elon Musk cars, and he don't even own Tesla no more. That's to show you how stupid they are that they didn't even do their research.
But wait,
a whole nother person on Tesla. So you destroying that man's car. You ain't even touching Elon Musk, right?
What's even worse though is like I thought we were trying to conserve energy and stuff. So you got now electric car that was. I mean, think about it. The Biden administration was about solar panels, EVs, and then overnight, because you built that car, I don't like the car, you or nobody else. Like
exactly.
Make that make sense.
I think the problem is what we have is we have gotten too caught up, excuse me, in politics that have nothing to do with basic human life, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you an interesting perspective. And I told this to my buddy who comes to me sometimes and he rides his bike. And he goes, man, I was riding my bike and I went somewhere and I ran into this situation with this dude on the streets, da-da-da-da-da. And I go, you got to get yourself a car because when you get a car, you don't run into those same situations because we're not in the same place.
Yeah.
So it's almost like even protesters and stuff. You can see why the elite feel like they feel because they're so far away from them that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
No,
It's almost like you have to
sense.
position yourself in life
Yeah,
to where
protest
it's
all
like,
you want.
do whatever the fuck you want. Just move out of my way. I'm still
Exactly.
doing a lot of shit and I'm actually making changes and I'm actually doing something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's how I like to live. I like to live like where it's like, I don't even see them.
Yeah.
If that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Like
Yeah,
I really
absolutely.
don't. Like a lot of times I'm like, bro,
There's no empathy
I don't
for it
see you
anymore.
because my world is beyond that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm no upper echelon, nothing. I'm just saying that the way I view the world, that's like just it's just another part of whatever. It's like, okay, just move because it's still I'm in control what I'm in control of.
Exactly.
I'm not in control of 30 humans and however they feel and if they decide to go LGB or not or if they like Tesla or they don't. That's y'all. I'm in control of me. So that's just noise. Like other noise, I find that to be noise and I could block noise.
And that's the same way I felt
You know what
about
I'm saying?
Yeah.
that's the same way I felt about people who in the very beginning when I started fighting early on for cannabis, I was like, that's your problem. You understand me? And I didn't even smoke cannabis then when I was fighting hard for it.
Yeah.
You got to keep in mind, the first time I ever tried cannabis, I was 37 years old. But I was in the hustle, the grind, and pushing laws and pushing this envelope to bring cannabis to a whole different light. So it was like how people felt. I remember I was at the kids' soccer game, right? And you know, you got all the soccer moms and soccer dads out there. And here I come pulling up. I come pulling up and my wife was out there, right? I come pulling up. And so, you know, this is Taj and Zamani's dad, you know, the younger kids, the younger girl. Hey, how you doing? So we sitting there, you know, got introduced and everything. And so they chopping up. So what do you do for a living? And my wife is like, oh, shit.
I know.
Here we go.
Here we go.
quick.
You know, and you know, you know me. Ding ding.
Opportunities.
That's an opportunity
They
to
ain't ready.
go all the way in.
Right.
They ain't ready.
Hey, they ain't ready. It's
They
an
cracked the door.
opportunity. Hey, man, they done cracked that door. But so,
Take a seat.
hey,
That's
so-
all you got to tell them.
Exactly. So I jumped back and I said, you know what? I said, I'm in the medical cannabis industry. And they were like, they had to pause for a minute because I said it so smooth, right? They was like, huh, medical?
Yeah, like
Oh.
did he
And then he said, oh, you one of those guys.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I am. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, every time they see me at the game, guess what? They coming to sit by me.
Yeah.
Hey, so can I pick your brain a little bit
Right.
about
I'm thinking
you know?
about-
Hey, I got this fat dub sack
yeah.
for you.
How can I get, you know, I was thinking I have a few dollars put to the side. Can
like
I-
10,000 or something. You're like, man, you maybe could buy something.
They,
But
they wanted that fat dub sack.
I
What they
know.
want.
Hey, you know, and now they talk about bring some edibles to the game, and you know I'll pay you for it when you get here. and,
yeah.
You know, so I never really listened to the outside. No, I've been one who's tread my own path for so many years
Mhm.
that I don't care what the next person had to say. Like you said, Marco, I'm in my own world. If you're not in my world, then me and you have no dealings or concerns. I have no concerns about you. If you have concerns about me, that's your problem.
Basically.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
That ain't my problem. Because I'm right here doing what I'm gonna do and gonna continue to do and gonna keep doing. And if you got a problem with it, that's your problem. That's not my
Hey,
problem.
look, and I got to commend you for that. Because for as long as you've been doing it, you are definitely a pioneer of this industry. And without you, like, who would we be saying, like, man, he did it?
Mhm.
Like, let us get under your, like, let us learn.
Yeah.
So I commend you for that.
No, thank you. I appreciate it, man. It was and Marco knows this. The journey from the beginning to present day hasn't been easy.
Mm-mm.
And I would say that the journey today is harder than it was the journey back then. It's gotten harder and harder because of what we discussed in the show.
Yeah.
All of these people that have come in with all of this money and are throwing money, even the ones that have failed. You got to think how long it took them to fail, right? How much lion's share they took in the process of failing.
Mhm.
How many customers they were keeping away from us while they were failing.
Mhm.
You got to think about all these companies that have converged in on the industry, and they're taking little bits of lion's share away from people like us, which causes us to have to hurt a little bit. But because we real players in this shit, we know how to maneuver and navigate.
Mhm.
So we maneuver around it. But what about those who don't know how?
Yeah.
Who don't have that wherewithal to do it? So I always stay one. I tell everybody around me, don't panic, as just like Trump and Elon Musk and them are saying, or whoever else, don't panic. Hold on, hang in there.
Absolutely.
Because I guarantee you, in a couple of more years, and I mean even less than a couple of years, you're going to see a whole different industry and a whole set of players in that industry. And I guarantee you it won't be the ones you see now.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The ones that are true players in the industry that'll stay and hold their post, they're going to be the ones left.
Period. Because there's some smart ones. You know what I mean? Brother, you being one, we got a few. So you gotta know there's two different players in the game. You got the pre-ICO homies.
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying? That's a crew, and there's not too many of them left.
Yeah.
Right? But that's a whole group, tribe, right? And then you got the other cats, right? That just came in and they bought into the business and
Right.
stuff like that. You know, so it's two different people, and the ones that are playing it smart to hang on are the ones that have been playing it smart to hang on, because
Right.
the finest form of survival is adaptation.
Absolutely.
And that's why some of us don't really sit here and sweat and panic and cry, because you have to know the rules change.
Yep.
That's just like in anything. I mean, shit, if you're in the NBA, how many times the rules change now? When it would be Jordan's era to
Yeah.
LeBron's era.
And if
We're talking
you've
about
been in
football.
this-
We're talking about baseball.
Heck
We're talking
yeah.
about the military. We're talking about life. Like, rules change.
And these
And at the end of the day,
mm-hmm.
all you can do is learn the rules.
Well, I want to
And-
go.
But these rules
wanna go
have
back
changed
to-
so many
so many
times for
times.
us. We used to adapt into it.
It's like you just got to pivot.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go back to
It's like
Virgil's
playing
point.
dodgeball.
In order for you to get stronger, you need resistance.
Yep.
So, like, what's going on right now is only gonna make you stronger on the other side.
Absolutely.
So, like, I don't even look at it as hard, easy. It's just necessary if you want to get stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're going through a period that things are going to weed themselves out.
Yeah.
It's just happening
Yeah.
on its own.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And just like you said, just hang on. Do what we've been doing.
Yeah.
So look, I want to end with kind of like talking about the alcohol industry is spending a lot of money to keep us right where they at, right? So they got lobbying, they got campaign donations. Big Booze is throwing everything they have to keep the grip on the American conscience. Because you got to understand, cannabis was demonized for at least 54 years. And now I just saw a press conference in Texas. The guy was literally talking about one puff of cannabis can cause psychosis.
Yeah.
Are we going back to reefer madness? We back in 1930 talking about what's going to happen if you take one puff.
Now, here's my thing for the audience. I'm a cannabis guy all day long. But one thing I'm going to be completely honest is for those of us who like to turn up, alcohol got to be there. I mean, it is what it is. And I've lived a great life when it came to turning up, going to private islands, going to here, traveling different countries, different places, Vegas here and there, a nightclub promoter. I cannot pretend like alcohol is not dope. At the end of the day, like I tell folks all the time in the cannabis industry, cannabis parties are boring because there is no alcohol. They're boring as shit. And any hustler who's really out there getting bread, they don't go to a cannabis party to spend bread. They go to a nightclub to pop bottles, right? Because they made bread. So they're spending $1,500, $2,000. They don't go to a cannabis party. There's nothing lit about going to a cannabis party.
Yeah,
let's just be 100.
Yeah.
I'm a pothead to the core. I smoke now. I smoke when I go home. I smoke when I drive. I smoke when I wake up. I smoke when I take a shit. I smoke when I pick my nose.
He is clearly a cannabis guy.
All damn day. But when I want to have a good time, where is the liquor?
Wait a minute, look, are you a Hennessy man?
Hey, that's real talk, Marco.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know, that's real talk. And you know what, fellas, we going to end on that note. So I hope you got your fun fact ready. Because we going to do our little fun fact today. We going to keep it. I'm going to start off with the fun fact while y'all trying to finagle for y'all's, right?
Now, you know, I got a fun fact.
And I'm going to talk about the hemp industry as a plant in the botanical class of cannabis sativa cultivars, grown specifically for the industry. For industrial and consumable use. It can be used to make a wide range of product along with bamboo. But the fun fact, hemp is among the fastest growing plant on earth. It was also one of the first plants to be spun into usable fiber 50,000 years ago.
Okay.
It can be refined into a variety of commercial items, including paper, rope, textile, clothing, biodegradable plastics, plant, insulation, biofuel, food, and animal feed. Because you know they feed cows hemp.
Yep.
Right? Fun fact. I just wanted to throw that fun fact out to y'all on some hemp.
Come on now, Keith. You got me on this one?
Okay, well, look, I'm gonna say my quote to try to give you a little bit more time. Okay. So Virgil was talking about just the hard hustling that he's done, you know, for the length of this industry. And I always think about this as a hustler, you making bold moves, right? So this is my quote. America was built on bold moves. Hell, we had the Tea Party because we were tired of paying these damn taxes, right?
Yep.
Not scared money. Because scared money don't make money. And right now, it's afraid of a plant that grows from the earth. So I need everyone to think about that. Now, here's my little quiz or what do you call it?
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Raphael Mechoulam is the Israeli scientists that discovered the endocannabinoid system, right?
In the body.
In the body, right? So
Mhm.
I think the Israelis doing research, they already have the research. And what I don't understand, why is it not being shared more with the world? And that always takes me to the pinnacle of partly what we're going through. Like, you telling me that we dealing with inflammation from the food that we have, and this is something that can actually help us, but yet
Yeah.
it's still being hidden on the health benefits.
Well, the thing is what America is not doing is allowing a lot of that research to hit us and then exposing it to us, right? America has an agenda that it exposes what America wants to expose, right? They're in the film industry, they're in the music industry, they are in the influence industry. You talk about influencers,
Mm-hmm.
America is one of the biggest influencers in the world. So if you talk about one of the biggest influencers getting paid, that's America.
Yeah.
They invented influencers, right? Not TikTok, not Instagram, the United States of America. When Markle talked about, and I'm gonna give you a little minute. When Markle talked about this being a corporation, I
He's
know
spot
very
on.
well how well this is a corporation, because when I looked at my indictment said the United States of America versus Virgil Grant.
Mhm.
That United States of America was in all capital letters.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a legal document and you have all capital letters, that's a corporation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's a corporation, man.
Yep.
And so I was now having to battle against a corporation that had billions and billions and trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
They could print money. How you gonna fight that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's uphill battle.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Fun fact,
my
Marco.
Fun fact is, marijuana became a popular name for cannabis in the United States in the 19th and early 20th century when it was associated with Mexican soldiers and laborers.
Wow. Mexican soldiers and laborers.
I thought it was the brick weed.
Marijuana.
I really thought it was the brick weed.
Marijuana. All right, so that wraps it up for tonight for Token Tuesday. Make sure you click the button at the bottom and subscribe. Check us out every Tuesday. We love to come here and give it to you live, uncut, real, and unapologetic.
Yep.
These are real cannabis players, and hey, I want y'all to go out and check each and every one of our background and history. We are not from any other industry. We're from the cannabis industry. Real cannabis players talking real cannabis issues. Until next time, I'ma holler at y'all. Peace out.
Token Tuesday, it's what we do. We just sit around, smoke a pound, and talk about what we do in the cannabis world. We gon' let you know how the business go on a brand new show. Token Tuesday, show you how to